Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, chapter 165. When we last left our heroes, we saw a bit of the battle in space as Oasis and the army together worked to destroy the Sea Serpent. We saw back on the Eden Zero, Hermit and Sister were trying to repair Witch. We found out that Witch will probably be okay, I think. And then Laguna asked for help in healing Ijuna, who has disappeared from the water bottle somehow. Meanwhile, back in the actual battle, both Shiki and Shora and Nero and Ziggy finished their fights with Shiki giving this big damn shonen speech to increase the weight of his heart in a Xenolith's terminology to activate the most powerful Satan gravity attack, Black Sky, and bring it pounding down on Shora, finally defeating him. And Ziggy does an attack called Gravity Drain to absorb Nero and give Ziggy access to Wormhole, which he uses to activate the bombs. So that's where we left off. Both of the Poseidons defeated, but now Nero 66 is right about to blow up with not just our heroes, but all of the innocent civilians on it. And yeah, things ain't looking too hot. We open with a full-color Xiaomei page, which is never which is always a sign this is a very big chapter, right? We open with Xiaomei in her normal space, a fork in the road. But there's this she comes to a crossroads. Sometimes we see two paths before us, and at those times we must choose only one. We'll never know what lies on the path not chosen, but that path too leads to its own world. And perhaps there exists a you who is completely unlike the you are now. Is that where we're going with this now, Xiaomei? Are we about to get into not just the alternate timelines you've been seeing thanks to Cat Leaper, but full on alternate versions of the heroes interacting or something? Maybe World 29 is still out there. A Rebecca reeling from Shiki's death and forced to be Draken's slave. Maybe we're gonna run into something like that. I don't know. But anyway, we get this nice 2-page color cover of Shiki and the entire crew of Edens. Rebecca, Homura, Wise, Hermit, Witch, Sister, Clean, Chris, Pino, Happy, Laguna, Moscow, and of course my beloved Couchpo, we stan. The whole fucking crew all in one shot. It's a really nice cover there. I like the sort of the yellow and pink contrast. But anyway, we come back to Nero 66. We see from outside the domed city, just this rumble noise. As thanks to Ziggy's actions, the bombs are starting I guess their detonation process. Shiki can feel the rumbling from inside the base, and Ziggy just looks at him for a sec and turns off the video screen. And Shiki, who was not there for any of Shora and Nero's conversation, just asks, "What do you mean, bombs?" And Rebecca works it out. The bombs Shora and Nero were talking about? And Pino's also there, and so she knows. 20,000 antimatter bombs on this planet. Detonation in 20 minutes. So yeah, that's, at least there's a time limit. But also, there's all these people here they're going to have to save. It looked really weird if, after all of Shiki's speechifying about the value of a life over the past 20 or so chapters, he just abandoned the citizens to their fate. But Happy tells him, "We have to hurry and get out of here." And Shiki protests, "Wait, can't we stop them?" And Pino counters, "It would be impossible. The terminal is down. He used the independent all-link system network to activate them." And Shiki asks, "What's going to happen to the planet?" And Pino is just sad, but she has to answer truthfully, "I estimate it will be destroyed." But there are lots of people on this planet. And I think this is Rebecca. "I know how you feel, Shiki, but there's nothing we can do." Again, that sort of sets up one of the big themes of the arc is this value of a life. Shiki cannot let those lives go. And Shiki protests, "No, I'm gonna stop it." But Rebecca tries to stop him. "Shiki, we have to get out if we want to live." And Shiki looks back at her, and we cut to Shiki in space at that metaphorical crossroads. One where he goes with Rebecca, and one where he saves Nero 66. I love this visual idea. Actually seeing, like, normally Xiaomei, with the exception of the Mildian arc, is completely divorced from the physical action of the chapter. She's watching it, right? But she's not really, we don't see her interacting in this really neat way we see here. Because Xiaomei goes to, like, talk to Shiki. I'm unclear if Shiki can actually hear her, though. Shiki, you're at a fork in the road. One path leads to escape and survival. The other path of rash action leads to death. You must choose for yourself. Now, which path will you take? And we get back to the story. Rebecca calls out to Shiki, Shiki! And Shiki looks at her and looks in defeat and says, let's get out of here. Okay. So that happened. Shiki is choosing to evacuate. And I cannot imagine that not weighing on him forever. Like, there's no way Shiki is still the same happy-go-lucky person he was after he's just let an entire planet die. Like, it was one thing on Gilst, I think, was Shiki had not quite based his power set on the idea of, the value of a life. And, like, it was like a chronophage's fault. Here, maybe Shiki feels some extra responsibility because it's Ziggy that did it. Maybe? I don't know. But I can see echoes of the end of Gilst here, right? How they ran away and a bunch of the people were wiped out of time because it went back 12,000 years. But this time, Shiki wants to save everyone, and maybe he can. He couldn't really stop the chronophage, but it's possible he could stop the bombs. But it looks like he's decided that he can't do it. Anyway, just then the Aqua Wing crashes through the room. Rebecca notes, the Aqua Wing! And it's Homura and the Rutherfords are all there. What has happened? Eden Zero has detected a large quantity of explosives. Unclean chimes in, and the people, they're all panicking. And Happy calls, you came for us. And Wise just looks down, whatever. We gotta get back to the Eden Zero. Get on. So I guess Wise has picked everyone up after their respective fights. And Shiki notes, no, wait, Shora needs... Oh, he was even going to save Shora. Wow. If you can't save everyone, at least save one person, I guess. But Shora's gone. Disappeared. He got away, I guess. Anyway, Shiki notes, where did he go? And then we hear this broadcast all through Nero 66. This is an emergency broadcast. A large number of heat sources were detected under the surface of Nero 66. The residents of Nero 66 are advised to evacuate completely. I repeat. And so we're seeing, going back to those echoes of Gilst, the same kind of situation of mass panic as everyone tries to get away. There's none of the hope that a chronophage could, contradictorily represent if you were lucky enough. Gilst, of course, did not represent that luck, but still, the idea was there. But still, that mass panic in the streets, trying to evacuate a planet that's doomed. Again, repeats of Gilst. Anyway, we cut to an escape pod where the 4 surviving members of Ocean 6 have all kind of made it to it. Nase, I think this is Lyra's line, actually. Well, this turned out to be a real mess. And Nase, who's piloting the ship, it's a good thing I got this escape pod ready, just in case. Milani asks, we're leaving Prince Shora behind? And Lyra almost taunts. He was fun to hang out with, but I just can't with him anymore. I feel like we're missing a little bit of context for Lyra there. I'm not quite sure what changed in her relationship with Shora in the past, few chapters. Like, if it was Milani, given what we saw in Milani's backstory in her fight with Homura, I could, buy into it a little more. But with Lyra, it's a little hard to take. I don't quite know what happened to take her to this point. Anyway, Callum then responds, I've ordered the soldiers to evacuate as well. I hope they make it out alive. But even if you evacuate, there's a full-on war going on in the atmosphere. The Sea Serpent is still standing, and Victory notes its energy is fully charged, which is bad, as we saw his laser beam last time. But a single ship races towards the Sea Serpent, and I hit the wrong fucking button. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this real fast. Fuck. I thought I was on Manga or something and hit the right key instead of on Imgur, which took me to another fucking image. Anyway, here we are. So, ship racing towards the sea serpent, and it's, what's his name? Ferenna's boyfriend. Why can't I remember his name? Quick search. Quickest of searches. Is that Dylan? It's Dylan. It's Dylan charging the sea serpent. You monster! And Ibaraki says his name in the next line. I'm real stupid. Dylan! And Dylan thinks back to Ferenna and yells, "How dare you! How dare you take Ferenna from me!" And he rushes the sea serpent right as it's about to fire. Russo calls, "He's not gonna!" And Gomakichi, "Don't do it!" And Eraser is just stunned as he watches. Dylan, sacrifice himself to destroy this thing. "We won't let you beat us, you evil, oppressive empire! Our corpses will pave the way to freedom!" And he smashes right into it. He suicide bombs the sea serpent. God damn. It sure is a good thing that the empire is basically dead already, because if the empire was still standing, Oasis would be down most of its top members. Ibaraki calls, tears in his eyes, "Dylan!" Victory notes the sea serpent stopped moving. Justice, "Eraser, now!" And Eraser, standing back on his ship, hair turning white as his ether gear activates, just erases the serpent. All over, it's being erased from existence by Eraser's powers. I'm kind of questioning if Dylan's sacrifice was really worth anything. Could Eraser have still stopped it before the beam went off? Maybe. The Empire is just shocked. Impossible! The Empire's most powerful weapon! And there goes the sea serpent. Ibaraki yells, "Go to hell, Imperial scum!" And an Imperial commander screams, "Curse you, Interstellar Union! Curse you, Rebel Army! You are dealing with the Nero Empire!" And we see this string of explosions, this boom sound, shocking Eraser, and everyone. Russo, the Imperial commander, Victory, the low-ranking Imperial troops react, "What the?" And we see Goodwin, also sweating. I've been watching 5Ds, so I said Godwin. Goodwin, also sweating. A broad-range open transmission. And it's the Eden Zero. This is the Demon King's battleship, Eden Zero. I am addressing all combatants in the airspace above Nero 66. And Justice finally realizes who he's been allied with this whole time. I can't wait to see how he reacts to this. The Eden Zero and its hermit. I advise the Interstellar Union, the Rebel Army, and the Imperial Army to cease fire and leave this sector immediately. And I think this is Oasis, given by the lack of a standard uniform. What is she talking about? Shora has been defeated. His plan to use the All-Link system to destroy all androids in the Aoi cosmos has been stopped. At the temple, Nero has been defeated as well, and the Empire is beginning to fall. So at this point, I assume Shiki and the gang have made it back to the ship, filled Hermit in on everything. And the Empire freaks out. That's impossible! His Imperial Majesty! Are you saying the Empire is lost? And Goodwin is just stunned. Can't believe that finally the battle is over, though he's about to find out how bad things still are. Oasis cheers. Is that true? We did it! Finally, we beat them! We beat the Empire! And Hermit tells them the war is over. There is no longer any need to fight. However, 20,000 antimatter bombs are set to go off on Nero 66. They will detonate in just a few minutes. Shocking everyone. What? The Empire reacts, but those are supposed to be at the temple. One of those bombs alone has the power to destroy this planet. 20,000 of them will obliterate this entire sector, and possibly some neighboring planets as well. Victory's just sort of stunned there. You've got to be kidding me! And Hermit finishes, there is no reason for enmity in the Aoi Sea. Leave this area if you want to live. And one of the Imperial troops reacts, Admiral, the skies are packed with evacuees from Nero 66. And the Admiral is just shaking. Is she saying we've lost? And one of his troops just screams, Admiral, requesting permission to withdraw. We don't want to die. But the Admiral goes on, we fight for the Empire. We will stay here until our last. And the troop from earlier just whacks him, knocks him out. It's over. We lost. It has vibes of that one scene in the Ishval flashback in FMA that I think got cut from the anime, tragically, when Boss Gron shoots the commanding officer for trying to stop a peace talk. It's the same vibe, though not as serious as this is For all of its darkness, a good deal more cartoony than FMA ever was. Anyway, the same troop takes the microphone. I am speaking for the Admiral of the Imperial Fleet. All the Imperial ships are now ordered to leave this sector. Make survival your top priority. And Eraser then is now back in his ship talking to his troops. Attention all Interstellar Union ships. I order you all to leave the front immediately. And Justice shouts, Eraser, you actually believe these people? I seriously doubt they're lying. But Justice, especially now that he's realized that he's been working with allies of Elsie, he's very adversarial right now. But also has a semi-good point. Creed and Jesse are still on Nero 66. Would you abandon them? And just then a sound call comes in. Justice, sir. This is Jesse. I am no longer on the planet's surface. Shocking Justice. And Victory asks, Jesse, you're okay? Is Creed with you? And Jesse, of course, cannot say anything, given what's happened. And I think this is Jesse's line, let's go, Justice. Oh, no, that's probably Eraser. And Justice is just kind of silent. Goodwin tells the Oasis troops, time for us to skedaddle too. And Ibaraki is just, distraught. It's too much. It's more than I can take. But we... And they all leave. All of the troops depart, desperately trying to escape the coming destruction. And Sister looks out. Looks like it all worked out somehow. And Hermit, they're oddly having this sort of comical routine, given everything going on. Hermit, can we not make the extreme introvert do the speeches? And Homer comments, the Empire appears to have fled as well. And Wise just, we gotta go. Whatever, just hurry. I don't want to get caught in that blast. Couchpo asks Moscow, do you think the people of Nero 66 all made it out? And Moscow comforts her, though he's almost certainly wrong. I'm sure they're fine, Moskoi. Laguna is still thinking about Ijuna, princess. And Jean tells the group, let's worry about others once we've gotten to safety. Clean agrees, we will escape. But then there's this beeping noise that Hermit notes. And then we come to the infirmary. And it's Shiki, who's, I guess, permanently lost one eye. What a relief. You're okay. And Rebecca as well. Witch! And we see that Witch has come to consciousness. She is back. I mean, she's weakened, I suppose, but she's alive. I am sorry to have worried you. You have been badly hurt, Lord Demon King. And Shiki just sort of grins. I guess, but I'm fine. As long as everybody else is okay. I feel like he's sort of stomping down all of his feelings about the evacuation. And Pino asks, do you know everything that is going on, Miss Witch? And Witch tells her, yes. The four shining stars are in constant contact via data link. And she looks up at Shiki. You truly have grown stronger, great Demon King. Strong enough that you no longer need my help. Okay. That's a weird specific turn of phrase there, Witch. What are we getting at with that? And Shiki just reacts, what? Why are you... And Witch sort of blushes, like head in hands. What is the matter with me? I feel something resembling joy and sadness. I cannot understand this programming. And Rebecca just chimes in, well, you are basically like the Eden Zero's mom after all. And that's a very... that's quite the thing to throw on Witch, Rebecca. The Eden Zero's mom? Maybe what you're feeling is like the joy and sadness, the joy of seeing your child grow, with the sadness that comes when they start to leave the nest. I mean, the Shiki's not going anywhere. This is their ship. And Wit sort of protests, oh no, I would not presume. And Shiki turns to her, what, like I'm her kid? And Happy chimes in, not just you, Shiki, which is like a mom to all of us. I guess that would fit with like Ziggy as the grandpa and like the Shining Stars as like the Demon King's kids, I guess. I don't know. And Witch sort of laughs, I can accept that. And just then, this alert starts buzzing through the ship. Shiki reacts, what's that? And Witch sort of telepathically connects to Hermit. Hermit, what is happening? And Hermit responds, I don't know. The ship's propulsion units aren't budging. What? Wise is like, hold on. Homura, are you saying the Eden Zero is not working? And Sister snaps, seriously? We need to get gone fast, or we're going to be blown to smithereens. And just then, a screen comes in Shiki, you made the wrong choice. And it's Ziggy, who looks decidedly more human than we've ever... Like, he had that crack after his fight with Nero, right? But under, we see what looks like a human eye and, like, exposed teeth. Like, here's where the end of his lip would be, and, like, it's the teeth back here we can see. Shocking Shiki, Grandpa, Lord Ziggy. All the Eden Zero's functions are frozen. It's no use. Ziggy's got control of everything. Detonation in 1 minute. Okay, it looks like we are going to get that World 31. I imagine that we're going to go back to that crossroads, is my best guess. Wise calls, use fast travel. But that doesn't work. Did you not, as Hermit protests, did you not hear me say all functions are frozen? And Witch snaps, do something, damn it. If we don't, we'll get caught in the explosion. And Clean tries to offer up an alternative plan. The Starfighters, we'll escape in those. But Chris tells the group, all the ship's doors have been closed and locked. Homer growls as Laguna notes, it's over. And Moscow's shaking in fear. Rebecca as well, Happy and Pino are frozen. Ziggy tells them, this wouldn't have happened if you had tried to stop the explosion. You wouldn't have ended up destroying everything. And Shiki just glares at Ziggy, and someone steps up. The focus on the feet makes me think this might be Rebecca using her cat leaper? No. This will not go according to your plans. Oh no, it's Witch. Not as long as the Shield of Edens is here. And that's where we leave off. Okay, so I will say, I was initially opposed to the idea of having to rewind time because I felt like it would undo all of the really, really good work we've seen throughout this arc. But I kind of like the idea of, Shiki in that moment, in that crossroads moment we saw, decided, actually, I'm going to save my own life. He turns his back on the whole theme of the arc. And maybe it's the right decision. Maybe, there was no way he would survive. It's either we live and they die, or we die and they die anyway, is kind of how he saw it. It's hard to blame him. But he still chose to protect his own life over the value of the lives of others, which, given what this whole arc is about, is kind of a bad sign. So I'm not quite sure. First of all, I'm not quite sure what exactly the Shield of Edens can do against this. Like, this is more like Wise's power, maybe Hermit's power, but not really Witch. Let me refresh myself on Witch's ether gear, because I don't quite. I'm pretty sure we've seen it before. Yeah, it's a shield and her battle dress. It's not really a lot of like she can make shields. That's most of it. She has element ether, which is just change the elemental. That's not really. Again, I'm scrolling through her powers. I don't know what she can do here, unless she has some other power, or we're going to get to see Ethereon. That's the only other thing I could imagine Witch doing here, is Ethereon. Because we haven't seen that yet. We have no idea what Ethereon is in this universe. In Fairy Tail, it's, super powerful magic cannon. I'm still working through Raidmaster, and I'm still not entirely clear on what Ethereon is. It's all powerful, I know that much, but beyond that, I think about the arc where I find out what the deal with Ethereon is, but still, I don't know what it is here. Like we had that note during Belial Gore that, like, Rebecca might be the only person who could really utilize Ethereon, so maybe it's tied in with Cat Leaper somehow. Possibly. I don't know. But that's enough of that. I don't really know what else to say for that part of the chapter, beyond I don't know where this is going. I don't know what Witch can do. Beyond that, though, there's a lot of good stuff here. Again, I really like this crossroads moment. I like Zhao Mei's sort of, what will you choose? And actually, now that we know what Ziggy's done, I want to take another look at this. One path leads to escape and survival, the other path of rash action leads to death. Because the obvious assumption is that leaving is escape and survival, And the path of rash action is trying to save everyone, even when they can't be saved. But now that we know that abandoning Nero 66 does not lead to survival, I think it's flipped. Zhao Mei doesn't quite tell us the answer, but the vagueness there is, I think, sort of a sign that, like, actually, we got this backwards. And as a result, everyone's kind of paying the consequences. They're stuck in space. The bomb's about to go off. They are kind of doomed. Like, maybe Witch can make a strong enough shield. I guess that's a possibility, but it's unlikely at best. I'll say that much. But yeah, I do like that kind of twist in the Zhao Mei section. I like Hermit sort of, the war is over, there's no more reason to fight, the Empire is falling, and also, you're all right about to die. You need to run. And, you know, the only person who is opposed to that is obviously the sort of commander of the falling empire, desperate to not admit that his empire has fallen. But the troops hold no such blind loyalty and take over. It's a good bit. I like that scene a lot. So yeah, good shit there. Again, really curious how the Justice crew is going to handle everything that's happened in this arc with Creed's death and Jesse shooting him and accidentally allying with allies of Elsie. You know, there's no way Justice takes that lying down. There's a lot of things I can't wait to see play out, which is one of the many reasons I don't want this whole arc to get wiped out with a New World. Like, I'd be fine with going back to the Crossroads moment, but really no farther than that. Or maybe we'll somehow be saved by Witch, and nothing will get undone, and we'll have to live with the choices we make. Which is what I would, like, assume would be the point here. You know, you have to live with the choices you make. If it weren't for the fact that Eden Zero is dead in the water, or dead in the space, and I don't really see a logical way out. I don't know. There's a lot of good shit here, and I really want to see how this plays out. But we'll have to wait. Let's just say it'll be a long, long week until the next chapter comes out. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. And if you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!